let's start the topic. So before going to the definition of the what is IP address, we can start with a simple example that will make you understand more clearly what is IP address. So we can we can imagine that every device is on the internet as a house. So what are the devices that we can know internet by using the internet? We know that mobile phone, computer, PC and tablet and laptop, any other things. So we can imagine that for our phone as a house. So for you to send a letter to a friend living in one house, one of these house, so one of we can see that we consider a internet devices as a house. So we think that we need to send a letter to one of these house, like we have to send a letter to one of these devices like mobile phone, laptop, anything. So we need the home address. We know that when we are writing on the post the letter, we need to write the from and to. So we need two address to whom we had to send the letter. So that is made by the home address. So same like that in the digital world, that is in the virtual world, this home address is called as IP, which is Internet Protocol Address. So it is the unique string of numbers separated by the periods like IPv4 or colons IPv6. So that identifies each device is connected to the internet or a local network. So which means it is simple like we have when we have to writing when we will write a letter, we have to write a from address and to address. So there will be a from and a to address. There it will be unique, nobody have the same addresses. So if I'm sending from my address, that is to if my friend address, that is where also to where I want to send, and from address is mine where I'm giving. So there will be a unique address. So same as that in all the internet connected devices have a addresses. So our address same as our address, house address, it is called the devices in the internet which is connected devices address is called IP address. So we can go to the definition. So an IP address or an internet protocol is a unique string of numbers which is assigned to each devices connected to the computer network that uses internet protocol for communication. It serves as the identifier that allows devices to send and receive data over the network, ensuring that this data reaches the correct destination. So I hope you understand that same principle as when we are sending the post a letter in the post service and reaching to the receiver. When we want to communicate, so we will write a letter. In the front of the letter we will write where we had to send and where it is coming, that is from address and to address. So to address means where the receiver's address, so it will be unique, and the from address is ours address, also it will be unique. Both receiver and the sender do not have the same address. So by using that IP address, the postman will send the letter to the correct location by knowing if it is from India, Kerala, where it is from. By looking at the address, they will identify which place it is, which district, which city, which village. They will identify by looking that. So same as in internet, the post office working as an internet protocol, that is the rule that to communicate, that is which is called IP address. So it serves as an identifier which allow the devices to send and receive the data over the network. So I suppose we can send from we will receive the letter from the receiver side, also from our friends, also we can send the letter to our friends. So ensuring that this data reaches in the correct destination. So by using the IP address, we can when we are giving our address, we know that it will reach a perfect address. Like that also in IP address, it will ensure that the data reaches as a correct destination. So here we can see the example, just a picture. So here we can see some digits by separating with dot. So these numbers by the four digits separated by 4 dots. So 9192.168.0.5, it is a mobile device IP address. We can see that here it's a letter where we are sending to the two. From this is the sender side and this is the receiver where we have to send the letter. So here we can see 84175934. There are so many devices that is connected. So the IP address will ensure which is the destination IP address, and this will send to the correct point. It will not send to this device. So we can see the device IP address is 172.16.254.1. So it is not same. So it is only sending from this sender to the receiver were according to the IP address. As same as this sender also want to send to this IP address, so it will send it to the where the IP address, which device it has the same IP address. So this is what the same as the post service working. So it is working like this only, the IP address. So here we can see how it's work. The IP address are used to route the data packet to the intended destination. So as I told, we have to send the data communication to one place to another place. So IP address will route that, which will show the path where the data to be sent in intended to reach a destination. And when a computer sends a message, it includes its own IP address and recipient IP address. The IP address allow the recipient to reply the message, which means that IP address also allow the recipient to send the reply also what we sent at the communication message. So here we can see some type of IP address, that is private IP address and public IP address. So this I will discuss in another video. If you want to know about private IP address, public IP address, you can comment. So in simply we can say the private IP address means our private devices like our mobile phone, tab, laptop, PC. So it have a private IP address. So public IP address means the publicly available that most of the people are using. That is one of the public Wi-Fi. So this public Wi-Fi is connected by these all devices. So it is means publicly available IP address is called public IP address. So private means our personal things, devices, IP address. Now we can look what are the types of the IP address are there. So IP address can be classified in several ways based on the structure, purposes and the type of the network they are used in. So here we can see the classification of the IP address. So there are basically three types of IP address we can say. That is based on addressing scheme, which is we are going to discuss is IPv4 and IPv6. Next is based on the usage. That as I told in the last picture, that is public, which this picture is shown the private IP address and public IP address, and based on the assessment method, that is static and dynamic. So these are the different type of IP address. So today in this video we are going to discuss only about IPv4 and IPv6. Now let's what is IPv4. IPv4, which is Internet Protocol version 4. So IP means Internet Protocol as we discussed. So V version and the version number is 4. So IPv4 is the most common system of for identifying devices on the network. It uses 4 numbers separated by dot. So as I told here we can see 104.244.42.129. So it is divided by a 4 number dotted. That is the example. To assign a unique address to each device, which means each and every system has its own IP address. No system has the same IP address. So this helps the data to reach the desired destination over the internet. That is, IP address is a 32-bit numerical identifier which assigns all devices in the computer and router to enable their connection to the internet. So the things that performing in between the internet, it is connection by providing by the IPv4 addresses. So it is a 32-bit numerical identifier, which means here we can see some binary numbers are there. If you count, we can count it. So if we are going to count, we can see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So it is here, it is 8, here is 8, here it is 8 and here also 8, which means it have 32. 8 plus 8, 8 plus 8, so it is like 32 bits are there. So this is what it's called 32-bit numerical identifier. So this bit is converted into a decimal form, which is we are seeing here. So this binary is converted to the bit form by decimal form, which is the IP address of Twitter, for example. So this is how the 32-bit binary is we are converted into dot in the decimal form, and it is in the, for human understandable, right, it is in the form, in a human understandable form. So in the total we can see that in IP address it is like 2 raised to 32 values will be the IP address we can form, that is up to. So this is the number of IP address we can make from this, that is more than a crore. So this is the number of IP address we can make from the IPv4 by using the 32-bit. So this is an example that here it's also 32-bit, and this is when we converted in the binary to decimal, we will get the 151.101 such that, and it is the redent.com's IP address. So this is how the IP address works, which is a 32-bit identifier. And here we can see an example that is also as similar that I explained, that is dot decimal, how we convert. So here we can see an example that is 185.101.80 and 360. So even I hope you know about the conversion of binary to decimal, octal to decimal. So here we can see it is a that 185. When we converted the 185 to the decimal form, this is the value we will get, that is 185 is equal to 101111001. And when we convert the octal form of 107, it will get the 011011011, and same as the 18 and 231. So when we convert this, we will get the 32 bits. So that is how we'll get. And also our IP address is range, IPv4 range is from 0002 to 255, 255, 255, 250. So this is the minimum, and the maximum value where we will get the IP address in the IPv4. So from the zeros to 255s. Now we can see a problem, that is whether we can check whether this answer is correct or not. So I hope you don't look to the solution, we can just see what is it is. That is, the first error is, we can check any error is there. So first, if first value is this 192, 168, 01 and 10. So in this we can see, do you see any error in this? We can see that number, it is 192, 168, 01 and 10. So this is the first one, which is, it is not allowed a leading zero. That the answer should be like 192. So this is what the answer should be like, the zero should be not there. So that is the first thing we have to look, that there must be no leading zeros. And the next question it is, so next we can look, the next question is 300.25.14.8. Do you see any mistake or any error in this question? That is 300 dot, there is no leading zeros in any octet. So I hope you find. So in this we can see, we already told that the value should be in between the zeros and 225. Here we can see 300, that is, it is more than 255. So it is not allowed in the IPv4. So this is the error we can see, that each number must have the value from 0 to 225. 300 is invalid. So this is the error in this one. Now we can look the what is in the third, that is 172.16.23.45.56. So do you see any error in this? So this is the simple one. I hope you find it. That is, we told that the IPv4 must have exactly 4 octal. So it means it should not be that it should be not that the answer should be in the form of 1 octet, 2 octet, 3 octet and 4 octet. There should be not 5th octet should be not there. So this is invalid. So this is the error in this thing. That is, we don't need the last dot 56. So this is the error. So now we can look what the next question and we can find the solution. I hope you are understanding. Next is 1010100.45.67.89. So this is the same as I told in before. I hope you identify that we told that we can only get in the form of even it is octet or in the form of binary. There will be no IP address in both combination. That is 1010. Here we can see this is a binary value and these are the octal value. So this is both different values are combined together as an IP address. So a mixture of a binary and octet should be not allowed. That is 101011 is a binary. So these are the main rules we have to check when we are writing an IP address which is an IPv4. Now we can look what are the advantages of IPv4. So the first one is about widely used. The almost all devices supported one and IPv4 and easy to configure. That is simple to set up and manage and efficient, work well for the small to medium sized network. Well established, many tools supported available. And the limitations is limited address, that is only we told about the 4 to 3 has this we told about this is the number of things IP address we can bring, that is IP address at 2 raised to 32, that is 4 trillion billions or trillions of IP addresses only allowed. So it is told that it is only about 4 to 3 billions of IP address is allowed, so which is not enough for the all devices. And fragment, which can cause a delay and insufficient in the data transmission. Security, that is lack of built-in security features is there facing. NAT issue, that is used for the NAT to share addresses and complicated network step. So the conclusion of the IPv4 is that the IPv4 is a crucial part of the internet. As I told, it is mostly devices used and providing a simple and reliable address in transmission. However, it is limited address space and lack of security as issue and roll the limitations of the IP address, leading to this issue that IPv4 v6 have more address spacing and better security. So the limitations of IPv4 is solving in the IPv6, that is the more address space and better security that we told in this limitation. So despite its limitation, IPv6 is used for the long time. So IPv4 is using for the long time. So this is what the IPv4. I hope you understand about the IPv4. This is a simple brief explanation. There are so many things to cover up in the IPv4. So this is the symbol IPv4. Now we can look what is IPv6. So IPv4, it is the same as Internet Protocol, which is the version number 6. So IPv6 is a newer version of the Internet Protocol designed to address the limitations of IPv4 as we told. So especially the storage of available address, it uses the 8 group of 4 hexadecimal digits separated by colons. So as we told in the IPv4, it is divided by the 4. So in this it is divided by 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can see like here we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it is divided by 8. In IP4 it is divided by 4. In IP6 is divided by 8. And in IP4 it is divided by a dot. Like this it was separated. But in here we can see, let me erase this. So in this we can see it is separated by the columns. So it is an 8 byte, so it is separated by the column. So this is the main difference between the IP4 and IP6 in the representation. So it is separated by column like this as a unique address. So that is IPv6 is an 128-bit numerical identifier, as is IPv4 it is 32, and IPv6 is 128-bit numerical identifier, which is offering much larger address space than IPv4. So total number of possible IPv6 is that 2 raised to 128, that is approximately 34 delicate address, so which is enough to provide a unique address for every devices on the planet. And the beyond, IPv6 is allowed the internet to grow without running out of address. So it is also include the built-in security features for the better protection. So this is the representation of the binary and hexadecimal. Now we can see some of the problems of this hexadecimal column notation, that is IPv6. So here we can check if any error is there or not, we can check. So this is the first question, that is 2001 colon 0 db colon 8583 colon 00823. So this is the number. So here we can see, sorry, the answer is already there. If are you seeing any errors is there in this? So there is no error, that is this is the valid IPv6, that it is the double colon is also here we can see that there is a double colon. So a double colon is also used to represent the consecutive zeros. In the next we can see 3001.0 to be 8583 colon and sorry 82830370. So numbers we can see. If any error is there, we can check it. So the error in this, it is about invalid value, that is 3001. That is, each hexadecimal value in IPv6 must be between zeros and FFF. So that means 3001 is invalid between, it is FF, it is greater than 4F. So it is, this value is greater than 4F, so it is not valid. So the values between the zeros and 4F. So next it is like we can see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Here we can see it is 9 group is the, that is, we told that it should be an 8 group, but it is more than 8, which is a 9, so it is invalid. And here we can see that 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, that it is in this we can see so many issues. One, it is like it is 7 only. Then here we can see it is represented by the dot, that is last part is not valid because it is separated by the single dot, and it is between, the number should be like between like A to F. So this is the and the error. So we can see what are the advantages of the IP address IPv4. So it is like larger address space, that is IPv6 provide a vast address between space with 340 underk address, that it solve the issues of the address exhaustion, and it improve the security, that IPv6 include the built-in security features like IPsec, securing the protection and the privacy, and simplify routing, that IPv6 eliminate the need of the network address, that the translation that we told, these all are the limitation that we face in the IPv4. So this all the problems is solved in the IPv6. And efficient packet processing, the IPv6 improve the efficiency by streaming the packet header, making it easy to. And the limitation is compatibility, that is IPv6 is not backward compatible with IPv4, that it require network upgrade or a dual stack system. The complex configuration, while IPv6 offer more feature, its configure can be more complex than IPv4, as we know that if any features increase, the complication also will be increased. And the translation challenge, that the translation between IPv4 and IPv6 is slow, so many network and devices is still rely on IPv4. Adoption rate, the IPv6 adoption is still processing, and the network and services continue to use IPv4. So this is the whole topic about IPv4, but this is not a complete video about the IPv6, IPv4, because IPv6 and IPv4 is a vast topic we have to learn about, but there is more classes, some things are there. So if I want to take about that, please comment. So we can see the conclusion about the IPv6, that IPv6 address the limitation of IPv4 by offering a larger address space, better security and more efficient routing, although its adoption is still growing. That IPv6 is essential for the future for the internet, as it demanded for IP addresses continues to rise. The IPv4 still remain the use of forecastable future, but IPv6 will eventually become a dominant protocol.